Hello. Welcome to my blog, teachyourselftestautomation.com. I also have a YouTube channel where I post all my YouTube videos, and I also put my videos on the blogs, right? Every day when you step through every day and we tackle a topic, I put a video on the blog itself, right? So, top of the blog. So we are on the 7th today, and it's about locators in Selenium WebDriver, right? So what are locators? Selenium uses some items it calls locators, right? And these locators it uses to match and interact with web elements or web objects on the web browsers, right? So what are elements or objects on your web page? You have things like radio buttons, checkboxes, text fields, drop-down lists. They are numerous, right? So if we go to let's say go to Facebook, right? So that's an element, right? That's a text field. That's an element. Sign up. That's a button. That's another element or an object, a web object or a web element. There are loads of fields here, right? So all these are web elements or web objects, right? And you have your drop down here. So for selecting date of birth, your drop downs, those are all elements, right? Web page elements. And you have a radio button there, right? So if we go to another website, that's my blog, right? We've got another website. We have the same sort of things here, right? So you've got the only difference here is checkbox, right? So also date fields. All these are all web elements. So Selenium uses locators, right? Locators, items called locators, in order to identify, say, this field, this checkbox field, right? So you can enter values in here, right? And interact with this field, this calendar day, calendar month. Yeah, so that's what Selenium have done. And this concept of locators, right, is the locator technique and strategies are the most important concepts. You will have and it's at the heart. It's a heart that drives. It's at the core of the drive in what Selenium WebDriver does in automating your test scripts, right? So if we go back to my blog, what are all these locators? So there are 6 main locators, right? And these locators are ID, class name. Class name is no other than just class, right? So sometimes when you look at the locator in the HTML code, right, it will just say class. And then you have name, you have link text. Now a link text is just used for just identifying links, right? So that's just for identifying one element or one object on a web page. So if you have a link, you use this locator. And then you have the XPath, and then you have CSS selector, right? So if we go to, I'll show you now how to find this on a web page, right? So if we go to say Facebook, and say want to locate this this text field, right? And we want to say click into it and enter some text, right? So the way to identify that element is by right clicking. So you click into the text field, you right click on your mouse, and then you go to inspect, right? Now there will be a window that opens at the bottom of the page, and that's called the developer tool window. Developer tools window, and you see this line of code which is highlighted in blue, right? This is your HTML code, right? The developer has used all the properties, right? All these properties to actually create this element, right? and then that element is the actual text field, right? And if you hover over this, you see that text field is highlighted as well, right? So hover over here. Now, all the HTML code will start with a tag, right? We'll start with a tag, and that tag name, if I copy this, I'll copy this and put it in a copy element. I'll put it in a notepad, right? And we can talk through it, okay? So here we go. This is your HTML for your email text box, right? So all of this is that, right? What it is all of this. This is called your HTML tag. Sorry, the tag name for your HTML code. This is the tag name, and everything else in here are called attributes, right? So if we split this up, this is your tag, right? It begins with a tag. So, and this is your tag name, right? And all the rest are attributes, right? Right. And all these are your attributes inside your HTML code for your email checkbox, or no, sorry, text field, right? So what have you got here? So you, as you saw on my blog, we have ID. ID now is one of the locator strategies you can use, right, to identify an object or an element on a web page, right? So if we go to the HTML tag we just copied for the email text field, now we can see that ID is one of the strategies you can use to locate that text field, right? Email text field, and enter something into that text field, right? So ID is one of the strategies. Also name is another, and class is another, right? So 3 of this you can use to identify that field, right? Now let's go back to Facebook. So this is just an introduction to what locators are, right? In the 8, we're going to be looking into how to actually use these locators to actually interact with the elements and the web and the objects on the web page. Okay, so this is just an introduction, right? So whenever you want to identify what locators any element or web or object has on a web page, you just right click and inspect, right? And you see a different HTML code for the password text box, right? So that one starts with a tag input, tag name is input, type password, class. We also have, let's see if they've got any ID here, name, ID. So that's ID there. So you can also use ID to identify this password field, right? So that was a brief introduction to locators, right? And the next video, we will, as I said, we will use all the locators to interact with elements or objects on the web pages, right? So we will say look into entering an email, a password, and clicking on the login, right? And then hopefully logging in, right? And automating all of that, right? Okay, so see you in day 8, and thank you for following along, right? Remember, engage, don't forget to subscribe, follow the journey, learn as well. Remember, the premise of my doing all this is a call to all the test analysts out there, right? it's time to sharpen your skill sets, right? Test analysts out there. Testing is becoming very technical. It's all about shift left, right? So you're going towards more towards development and moving from presentation layer into the business layer, where you have all the business logic and the code, right? So that's where things are heading, right? And it's becoming so technical. So keep it up, guys, and we'll see you in day 8. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, give a shout out, and a shout out to Sunil. Sunil, my man, I took your comments on board, and hopefully this was more an interactive and more upbeat video, okay? And short, I think short. I don't know how long the video has been, so I better shut up, okay? See you later, guys. Yeah, I think that's it.